is OSCA and we run an ironing service in Melbourne, Australia. Today I would like to talk to you a little bit about the difference between ironing for love or ironing for a living. Ironing for love usually means you are ironing for your family. You've probably had a hand in choosing the garment, the fabric, how it's washed, how it's dried, and ultimately how it's ironed. Every aspect of the process is in your control. If you make a mistake, you'll probably be forgiven. On the other hand, when you iron for a living, the customer gets to choose the garment and the type of fabric, how it's washed, how it's dried, and how it's presented to you. Hung dried on a hanger or scrunched up in a little bowl at the bottom of the basket. You have no choice. The only way to succeed is to know how to iron everything anyhow. Hankies, doona covers, and all of the other garments in between. When you make a mistake, and you are lucky, the customer will give you the opportunity to re-iron the garment and learn how they like it ironed. If you're not lucky, they may not even call you and let you know why they've left. They'll just find somebody else who doesn't make mistakes. Now, learning from your mistakes is one way to learn how to iron the hard way. Or you can subscribe to our channel and follow us as we present our entire ironing curriculum over the next 12 months or so. We will be sharing with you everything that we have learned over the last 30 or so years of running a successful ironing service. Video by video, from the basics to the more advanced techniques, we are going to teach you what we teach our professional ironers. Stay tuned and enjoy our next presentation. So let's see what I have in my magic basket today. It's a polo. Well, how did I know that? You've already seen me iron a couple of shirts, so today I'm going to hand over to one of our experts.
Today I'm going to show you how to iron a polo shirt. To begin with, some of these can be quite scrunched up from the drying and the washing process and quite misaligned along the stitches. To help us out along the way in the process, we'll start with a quick pre-dampen, starting on the reverse side. Two reasons. One, a little extra friction and traction as I'm pulling and placing along the board, or dragging the fabric down, and of course it also helps to iron the other side as I'm doing the front. We're going to place the polo along the horizontal of the board so that our collar is on the vertical of the board, and we're going to start on the inside of the collar, and we're going to almost imagine that we have exactly like a cuff here of a shirt, so we can do the placket where the buttonholes would be, and we're going to roll through the inside of the collar without stretching too much and come right across to the other side where our buttons are to make a nice neat opening. Flicking it around, we're going to start at the front. Now at times these stitches can be quite misaligned, either they were cut and sewn in that particular way, or they've just come disheveled through the wash and dry process. So to straighten them up very easily, start at the intersection of the seams underneath the armholes, holding both the seam between your hands at the top of the sleeves and the sides, and give the polo a bit of a flick. Now allow the polo to come over the board and drag it down to your placement where you need it to be on the board. Start right there. coming along the top of the sleeve, but not quite all the way up so that we don't make a double crease where we don't want to. Move it along. Now we're going to stretch this seam here from the intersection up to here, and what I'm doing is I'm actually riding the tip along the edge of the seam rather than actually placing the iron fully down onto the whole of the fabrics. Coming across the side, across the chest to the other sleeve, coming around, and again the same thing, not quite all the way to the top, pulling along the seam, again riding the tip, and just finishing off steaming through here. The idea of it when you're finished is to have a T on the board. So from here now we can finish off exactly where we need to go. I'm confident that that's where it's supposed to be. And the same thing on the other side. Again, picking it up at the intersection of the seams under the armholes. Flick it slowly and gently over the board and come through to straighten it up. Now you can already see that my stitches have somehow straightened up magically simply with that first flick, but I want them a little bit more, so my hand comes through the center and turns and pulls the fabric towards me so that the stitch is right there for me, and I can stretch along with the iron as I'm gliding up along the seams, coming across in an infinity sign back up to this top and crisscross over, dragging it up a little bit more. I've got the tab here, the tag, along with the button. I don't want a shine or an imprint, so I'm just going to steam through that along without actually placing the iron down onto the table. And just here we can use a quick brush down technique or continue to go on a crisscross or an infinity sign to get the stitches nice and straight on top of each other. Other side, best to cross your hands over, and you can actually start right here. Same brush down technique, same steam through over the top of the tag, which is now on the other side. Drag the polo towards you, open it out, and again from stitch to stitch. This time we're ironing away from ourselves while the t-shirt or the polo is being pulled down towards us. This is going to allow the fabric on the underneath to have been straightened out at the same time. Again, I can start here, but I need to make sure that I do not do a double crease here. So always come back on the other side, down from the crease towards the seam. Again, just a little bit of a riding the tip and a steam through. Careful if you've got any insignia here not to go over it. Instead, lift the fabric up and steam across. Again, line yourself up so that you only have the one single sharp crease ironing down away from it towards the seam, dragging all the way up. We just have this little part here which we weren't able to get, and we don't want to have any imprints or any shine on the back of our neck, so we want to lift up the fabric, the very top layer, and just do a quick steam through where we need to be. And there we are, we've just ironed a polo shirt.
And that's how you iron a polo shirt. So thanks for watching. If you like, leave us a comment, like us, or subscribe.